Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Oh no. Hello, everybody, and welcome. Welcome to GutPunchRP, where tonight we are playing Lost in the Wild, a D&D 5e campaign loosely based. Where are we going?
You know, hey, give me a second.
Okay.
It's been a long day.
We're there we go. There we got it. We're here.
Here we are.
See. Yeah, so we are playing Lost in the Wild, a D&D 5e campaign loosely based on Wild Beyond the Witchlight. Very loosely. I'm just taking random pages from different parts of the book at this point. But yes, we are sponsored tonight by Dungeons Gate. Local Midwestern gaming store with a diverse selection of board and card games, TTRPGs, dice, minis, and gaming accessories, as well as sci-fi and fantasy books and graphic novels for all ages. You can type !Dungeonsgate to find out more about them in the chat. And then if you use the code GutPunchRP, you can get 10% off all not already discounted items. And they're great. They're super cool. Also, our charity, which you can see maybe you can see all the prizes. I can't see Twitch. Back over there. We are still raising money for the Transgender Law Center, which changes law, policy, and attitudes so that all people can live safely and authentically and free from discrimination, regardless of their gender, identity, or expression. So those are important announcements. Also, we do apologize that we do not have captions. We are switching over our system, and we will have them on YouTube as the other thing, subtitles. There we go. Just wanted to mention. But I guess that's all for announcements. Probably. Yeah, so we will dive in with a recap of Lost in the Wild. Drop the theme music, blah, blah, blah. Super real thing that we have. Check out YouTube. Right? You don't know if you don't look. But yes, let me turn my iPad on, even though I know what happened. Okay. Previously on Lost in the Wild, you all traveled into the Fey Realm from a circus. You found some lost people, including the adorable Displacer Beast kitten that you were sent through here to look for, and Kichiro's friend from childhood, Will, who also had disappeared from the carnival as a kid. So checking some boxes for sure. Leaving the tree where Will and all of them lived, you were trekking back across the forest where you had previously come. And upon coming to the Queen's Road, you start being overtaken by like it's a poisonous smoke. And it forced you up into the trees above them and onto the Queen's Road, where you were attacked by a Fey dragon, the Jabberwock. Everyone made it and survived, and you managed to slay this beast, an absolute terror who made its home in the ruins that were not far off. You were able to clamber back down, find a nice quiet place to sleep for the evening, and are now waking up the next day, kind of surrounded by the mist and fog that comes off a bog in the early morning. You're beginning to hear a little bit more noise from the forest behind you than you had the previous night. Maybe the animals are kind of just realizing that this giant dragon is dead, and this is now no longer its hunting ground. As you are looking out from where you made camp, kind of back the way you came and a little bit to the north, we'll say, northwestish, you see the ruins that the Jabberwock lived in. They're about a half mile off. That's just where they are. Out in front of you, you have, of course, the bog, this vast stretch that stands between you and the castle. It has that green sort of murky look to it and little weird stands of trees. It's probably kind of one of those like peat bogs where you can fall into like weird holes and all that sort of stuff. And that is just slowly coming out of the mist as the sun gets higher and higher in the sky. To the east, northeast-ish, you can see the mountains rising up as the trees fall away in the foothills, and you can see the smoke trickling up from where you have been told that the Briganock mines are. Between here and there, you have a bit of edge of the bog, a little bit of forest, and it looks like a pretty direct route if you can keep your feet on the right path. Otherwise, there's the forest behind you. You can go back to the Queen's Bridge, do whatever you want. What are we all doing this lovely early morning? Stretching. Doing a little exercise.
Still asleep,
I
probably.
do my morning warm-ups. Kind of like some jog.
Definitely still dozing
Nice.
over on my bedroll. Absolutely.
Everyone's coming alive around you, and you're just like lightly snoring, laying there as birds are beginning to tweet merrily in the trees not far off.
No, still bedtime. Well, too early.
I'll
still.
probably be preparing breakfast, and there's a
That is
distinction
what wakes me
between
up, yes.
there's a distinction between preparing and cooking. I'm getting rations set out in a breakfast orientation because this is dad breakfast. But there's good coffee. Smells great though.
The coffee is what wakes Cobalt up. Yes.
Definitely would like these.
Just 4 cups and 4 hands.
Yeah,
Just hand them out.
please. Oh, thank you. Okay.
I don't know what it is, but there's something about this just kind of like revitalizes the whole system. I don't understand it. Whoa, I'm awake.
I had a friend
It's
that
the
called
hard
it the
knock
best part
credits.
of waking up.
Oh my
Well,
god.
it's
That also.
the properties of the beans that you make it from. They kind of do like it's a whole thing.
It's like magic.
Kind of,
Ah,
yeah.
that makes sense. Magic makes sense.
It's a traveling.
How many of us have walked through a bog before?
I mean, I wouldn't say it to her face.
Yes, that's all right. Enough out of you.
Never in my life.
There was this one
Wonderful.
time when I was running an errand and I found a swamp. Is that similar to a bog?
Ecologically,
Yes.
well, I was going to say we should prepare ourselves for it to be different because of where we are, but you'll have nothing to compare it to, so I suppose it'll be fine.
Fair enough.
So is that you guys are gonna go bogward, or are you gonna? Okay.
Gotta get to the castle, right?
Yeah. Towards the castle. Let's do it.
Next step, we're on our way.
Is going through the bog getting us to the mine, or are we just going
Yeah,
to the
wait.
castle?
Oh yeah. Wait. Right.
Because as you know, there might
Coffee
be.
hasn't kicked in yet.
Which I was like, yeah, you totally can do that.
I mean, okay. Hold on. Which one is going towards the mine though?
The mines are like over near the mountains. You can see the smoke rising up, so that's kind of to your west.
Okay. That was, from what we were told, the safer route towards the castle. Bog was definitely more dangerous.
But is it as dangerous now that we don't have a dragon?
It is true.
That's a good question. I don't know.
Veritas lets out this low, like, chittering sound, and he will go, I just don't like mines. And we'll drink more coffee.
I
Is
don't
it the
either.
fact
They're
that-
creepy with the face paint and then the not
That's
talking.
moms.
Oh.
I was very confused.
I mean, I don't blame you, though. They are kind of unsettling.
Mines are mines.
Both of them.
Got it.
Not a big fan of the dark and not a big fan of the silence either.
But if we close
Silence and action and the that whatever.
Yes.
sometimes you can find really cool things in mines. Like there's pretty stones. Sometimes you can find these really, really big like columns that like have grown over centuries. It's so cool.
Beyond that, weren't we going there for answers?
Yes, I suppose.
Yeah.
I don't mean to be the logical one here. I'm just...
No, but it does make sense though. It's because okay. Remind me, the player DM, please.
Yeah.
going through the mines would take us to like a sort of kind of hidden entrance into the castle. Is that correct?
Yes, the rumor is that there is a tunnel through the mines that goes directly to the castle. Very few people know its like actual location, and it is to the general population more rumor than fact.
Whereas going through the bog
is probably safer now that there isn't a dragon. It is still like a bog, and you know, you could get Swamp of Sadness or whatever, so there's that.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Malavir and Marshawn were the ones who, one of the set of people who told you about the tunnel to the castle through the mines, and they seem like they might know some stuff.
And
If that helps. Yes, they are also hot, so you should probably just trust them.
Probably. That's how that works, yeah. I mean, we were directed towards the mines as a way for us to go. And well, yeah, the bog will be safer now that there's no dragon to worry about. I don't know how prepared we are to go through that kind of trek, that kind of terrain. I know I'm not. I don't know about you all, but
I'm less worried about the terrain and more storming the gates. I'm more of a
that
sneaky
too,
type.
yeah. Yeah, we may have more success with the sneaking in kind of approach too, once we get to the castle. And we're more likely to have that kind of element of surprise if we're going in through a secret tunnel.
Unless, again, someone is watching.
Yeah.
Or, you know,
Yes.
killing the dragon kind of
Yeah.
announces the presence.
Just a little bit.
Maybe it was those vicious little things with the red hats.
They
Yes,
Both?
truly vicious.
do.
They were mean, okay?
They definitely got the jump on some of us.
All right.
I mean, you did take quite a hit there. You know, I wouldn't be too surprised if you
I'm gonna use
Can
Mage
suffer
Hand to just
some
like flick them in the forehead.
memory issues because of it.
Mmm.
Slap them upside the head with my Mage Hand.
I'd say roll to attack, but they can't really do damage, so you just feel a mage hand like hit you as hard as it can, and it sort of
10 pounds of force. That's as much as it can do.
like a pillow, but hand-shaped. Yeah. Heading for the
All right.
mines.
Let's head out.
Oh,
All right. Any?
Off to work we go.
I'm just gonna make someone who's feeling lucky roll me a perception check. Says you're looking around, leaving camp.
I'll do it. I'll do
All
it.
right.
16.
So as the sun is getting a little bit higher in the sky, and you are sort of looking around and back at the ruins, you do feel like you just catch a glint of something shiny in there.
Ooh, what's that? Gonna walk that way.
Well, where are you going? Hold on. Follow after her.
I saw something shiny over there.
You mean over there? And Elliot?
Yeah, that way. It's. You said in the ruins?
Yeah.
It's over in the ruins. I don't know. It just kind of was like really shiny and sparkly. And it looked at us and then it went away.
What do y'all think? We check it out?
Well, that might be those things following us again. And instead of a rock this time, it's a tiny little knife that they pulled out of their pants.
Shut up.
That's now what it is. Whatever was there before, gone.
Damn it.
Maybe then, I don't know. How far away is this from us, DM?
Like a quarter mile, like it's definitely like less than a 5-minute walk, and it's on the edge of the bog, so you don't have to go through any bog to get there either.
I mean, it wouldn't be deviating too far
Ori.
from where we're going if we want to just take a look.
Be careful.
Wait, Ori! Okay.
Just like 50 yards away, just like speed walking.
Just a
Going
touch.
after Or.
I would like to investigate the shiny.
All right, so as you look in to this building, it's kind of like Most of the roof is gone, but there's clearly a part on top that is still held together that has some claw marks on it, as though this is frequently where this giant animal landed. And kind of down in... It's a little bit sunken into the ground, like it has clearly like lost some height and gone down a little bit. But as you like look into the window and have about like a 5-foot drop to a mix of stone and sand that's filling this up, this is the lair of a very, like, not rich dragon, but there's some shiny stuff in here for sure. So...
Thing!
Oh shit! Alright, hell yeah!
I would like to try and grab the shiny things.
Yeah, you definitely have to, like, climb in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Done deal.
So as you're easing through this window,
Climbing down through the window, like, I get it! Just a moment!
you plop down into like a couple inches of water, and you can kind of see on the wall that sometimes this thing fills up fairly high. But right now it is just lapping around your ankles, and you start to kind of like kick and sift through stuff, and you notice that there's a lot of bones in here, first off. And then there's also like, you can tell it's been like coin purses and bags that have worn through, where there's a smattering of gold and silver over here and over there. And as you are just pulling this together, you're able to get like a mixed bag of about 100 gold. And then there's like some other stuff that is far more exciting than 100 gold. You find there's a wide variety of armor in various states of repair, but you do see kind of clutched in one fully like plate armored person's hand, there is a very intricate greatsword that kind of has vines and everything wrapped around it and is jeweled, which you now have that, and you can identify it as you can. And then you also find some sort of wizardy sorcery staff. You probably just toss it out the window because you found a cooler sword.
Wait, no, hold on, wait.
It's my walking stick.
And then you also find, and this is one of the more interesting non-shiny things, and it's kind of like almost like driftwood, half bobbing in the water and lapping up against like the edge. And it is a unicorn horn that is about 1.5 feet long and has a little bit of like a pearlescent sheen to it.
I'm ready to tackle the world. I've got my walking stick, I've got my unicorn horn, and this new thorny sword. I'm unstoppable.
Yep. And there's just like, if anyone else needs
Gold.
a regular weapon, you can probably find it in here. There's daggers, there's other swords, there's like one sad warhammer that's like missing one face. Stuff like that. But you know, those are the good things. So if that's all you need, you can clamber on out of here.
I will clamber on out, and I will set all the items down in front of everyone. Look at the sword, and then there's a walking stick, and this unicorn horn. I wonder what it does.
There was money.
Oh yes, here. It just stands like a pile.
If y'all don't mind sitting here for a little bit, I could figure out what exactly this stuff does. It would probably take about half an hour.
Oh, you could do that, can't you?
Yeah.
I kind of want to know what it does.
All right, and just gonna plop down, crisscross applesauce, start ritually casting Identify on all 3 of these new shiny new toys.
All right.
It'll be a great time to discuss why you're afraid of mines.
Yeah.
Also, mimes.
Will it?
Also, mines.
Alright, sorry, 1 sec. I don't think that one does anything. Okay, so which would you like to start with?
I'll start with the sword.
All right, as you are looking at the sword and concentrating on it, you get a very strong, a chaotic good vibe from this sword. And it kind of is almost like, as you're identifying it, speaking in your head in a little like pompous voice. But this is a very powerful sword. It tells you it is called the Snicker Snack. which that's just you gain a +3 bonus to attack and damage rolls made with this magic Vorpal sword. It requires attunement.
Sure does.
It sure does.
Sure does.
I'll relay that to the others. Whoever wants to use this one, I'll just kind of set that aside. Focus anew on the. We'll go for the staff.
Bigger than I am.
It's just like as tall as.
Yeah, it's not too heavy, but I sure as hell ain't strong enough to swing that round. All right.
All right, and the next thing, the walking stick, as it has previously been called, is actually an Eldritch staff. So this guy has also been eating some magic users. It can be wielded as a magic quarterstaff that grants +1 bonus to attack and damage rolls made with it. It also has some charges. Also requires the attunement.
Okay. Do the same. Relay that to the others. Set that aside. It looks like it's more for this. This is more for fighting than it is for like casting magic or anything like that. So, I mean, I would probably look towards like Kichiro, since like seen him use that sort of style of fighting. But since I think it's just kind of, I imagine just kind of standing there off to the side, just watching quietly.
Yeah. I think it grants a bonus to like the magic attacks.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That was my bad reading. I was like, wait.
Oh, well, in that case.
Yeah, no, it's a magic staff.
Yeah, it's
All
for
right.
the magic
Okay.
people.
Okay. But then I will hold. I'm gonna just, unless anybody
But
says
you
otherwise, I'm just
know,
gonna
you're
grab
not the only caster in the.
Yeah.
I'll
And
have one item.
yeah. Hold on. Let me see what the other thing does. Give me a sec. Focus on the
So
unicorn
you-
horn.
Sort of put this unicorn horn in front of you and are concentrating on it. You draw your little circle out and everything, and it has magic in the way unicorns are magical animals. But it is, I don't want to say just a unicorn horn, but it's not extra magical in any way.
Gotcha. All right, I'll also share that with everybody. So I don't know what use it would be to us, aside from maybe selling it at some point, but it could probably fit a pretty penny.
Want to do an Arcana check?
I would love to.
Yeah.
It's kind of swinging the greatsword around. Like, I'm not used to a weapon this big. Whee!
Okay.
got a
All
10.
right. Let's practice swings over here.
Just in the group doing that. With a 10, knowing that unicorns are magical, you as a magic person can kind of be like, I bet that this has a magical use and I just don't know it.
Yeah.
Yes, it is also a valuable thing, but
Okay.
there could be a good use for it someplace.
Gotcha. All right. Sounds good. Yeah. Sweet.
If you have time.
Huh? Yeah.
I was gonna pull out the money clip with the cards.
Sure.
Take a look at that.
All right,
Use
so
some identifying.
this was a money clip that said someone's initials.
NK? JK?
And
Just
NK
kidding.
sounds correct. I think
Not
I
kidding.
Not kidding.
Lord, if I could spell, this would go better. Okay. So as you are putting these cards out in front of you, they do just appear to be a like random set of 5 fairly average-looking playing cards. They're a little bit more like tarot in their size than, poker. But as you are looking at these cards, thinking about it, you realize this is 5 cards from a deck of illusions.
Ooh. All right.
Yeah. So you have 5 of those and can create little illusions when you just pull one randomly.
Cool. All right. Pass that back to you. Oh, also, I mean, while we're kind of going over stuff that we have, I will pull out the red chromatic rose and the white chromatic rose that I got from like a ways back.
Lord.
And I realized I still hadn't actually shared with the offer to the others.
I thought we would do that.
Whoopsies. But she'll explain that the red chromatic rose can give you resistance to fire damage, and it can also let you like produce like a cone of fire. It has charges though; it's very limited. The white chromatic rose, same thing, but with ice, with cold damage. And I also have 3 servings of pixie dust to give you flying speed and the ability to hover for 1 minute. So if anybody... Oh, and also a potion of advantage. It's just like for 1 roll. But anybody who wants... If anybody's interested in any of those in particular, I think Cobalt will definitely like set aside like the red one, the red rose for sure. Cause like, I mean, I already do okay with burns and things like that. Fire doesn't really do much to me. So, I mean, so if anybody else wants this one, probably better used by someone else.
I think that might be the 2 of us, Veritas.
I suppose. You should take it.
Are you sure?
Yes.
All right.
I don't know if anybody wants to hold on to this sword. I can certainly hold on to it.
Oh, I'm good. I think I'd fall over if I touched it.
I don't think I could pick it up, honestly.
Yeah, me neither. It was hard enough kind of just moving it over to kind of identify it.
Damn, probably should have looked at what kind of weapons you guys use.
I mean, I typically use shields, but this thing is pretty cool. So, to look at Veritas.
You said it speaks?
It's
Oh, yeah, it did kind of start to talk a little bit when I was identifying it. A little. It told me its name. It's called Snickersnack.
that's a lovely name.
All good. No.
Sure.
you.
That on my back.
As you are like putting the sword away after Veritas has said that, the sword just goes, "Well, I don't like you either," in the general direction of Veritas, but only you hear it, Ori.
That was amazing. So you're the Snickersnack. Sit there and talk to the sword.
It gives like a very like kind of judgmental and then like the more you talk to it, the quieter it gets. It's just like, I've made a mistake.
You will be my friend.
Perfect combo.
All right, and so then we are headed towards the mines.
Mm-hmm.
That's all right. So you turn the party around and kind of crawl back. Don't you walk like normal folk. Walk back along the same trail you took, and begin heading along sort of the edge of the trees and the sort of it's not a shore, but the edge of the bog also. And as you begin your day a little later than probably some of you would have hoped, you are making good time for quite a while. And then it's like this portion of like land that you're walking on just starts getting like rockier and rockier in that way that the shore of like a great lake is, where it's just big rock, big rock, big rock. And it starts to become sort of what we would describe as rough terrain. And it's taking you longer than you would like. You can also hop into the woods, which you can see only go a couple more miles before they turn into foothills, but this is just like kind of starting to break into a little bit more of a mountainous aspect at this point in the bog.
What do you all want to do? Do you want to take on your foes in the forest?
I mean, which we're trying to be sneaky, right? Aside from killing the Jabberwock, and approaching this castle, yeah. So mines, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
As Ori's scrambling over these rocks and just like scraping metal against stone.
Plate mail.
Sword's like, oh god. But yeah, go ahead.
I think the forest is the best option then.
It'll save you some time.
Let's do it.
So you take the last little bit of this journey, turning off from the more like open and increasingly rocky terrain that is the edge of the forest. You go into the trees, which have thinned out from where you were previously. It's smoke-free at present, and you just begin to kind of traipse through this area. And is there a marching order? You in a clump? You just spread out in like a search line?
I'll be in the front.
I'd like to be toward the back.
Elio is also near the front. Like, Ori cannot direct.
I'm happy in the middle.
All right. Can I get from the team at the front a perception check?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
10.
It's the one thing I'm good at. 14.
All right. So you're walking through the forest still. You got the little birds back. Every now and then you hear like the scuff of something climbing a tree. Mostly just wild animal noises. And everyone's talking. Ori's talking to her sword out front, just not super looking where...
Sword, my whole life story.
The whole life story. Sword's just like, no. No. But it's suddenly, like, what feels like very suddenly, you will come across a part, like, it's not really a trail at all. It's just like a slightly bigger gap in the trees. And the first thing you notice is that there's a pony in the road. It's just a short, fat, little pony. And this pony has what is about the size of like a dollhouse on its back. And in the way of like one of those little orcs with the giant like elephant things they ride, it looks like he is trying to lead one of those for his stature, because this dude's about like yay big. And he's trying to drag the pony, who is not listening and just munching on some grass, off the trail, and just sees you and like swears and clambers up on top of the pony and back into like the porch of his house, I guess it would be.
Me?
Hello, I guess.
Are you in need of assistance?
And he just looks you up and down, like, very, very intently. And well, what side are you on?
The right side, I think. Ellie is on the left. So I'm on the right.
That's it wasn't really a riddle. It was more you're not with the hag.
Oh, no, we just killed the Jabberwock.
Oh.
We're just delivering that information, are we?
Yes, apparently we're just saying that out loud.
Yeah, apparently.
I mean, I've got no problem with that. It was dragon running around making the bogs unsafe. You all killed the Jabberwock thing that's been terrorizing this land for ever.
Mm-hmm.
He's still just like eyes getting narrower and narrower.
Hi, I'm Ori.
That sounds made up.
Do we not strike you as intimidating?
Well, you maybe a little bit. Not that one. Points at Ori.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
But also, why are you all are you dragon hunters? Are you just out here to kill the Jabberwock? Just hanging out?
We're on our way to them. She'll look back and like, am I?
I've just got like a death grip on like Kichiro's like wrist to stop them from like saying anything. Like, do not say a goddamn word. Like
We are
like a hand on their arm. Like
we are but a group of humble adventurers. I, for one, am a collector of stories. Do you have any good stories?
Out of nowhere, he suddenly produces like a teeny tiny, adorable, like Barbie-sized pipe. Sits down on a chair that just came out of nowhere. He's like, do I have stories? I have stories from the mines. I have stories from the mountains. That's most of the places I have stories from.
Well, let's go in alphabetical order. Let's start with the stories from the mines.
Oh.
what's your name?
By the
way.
That's so polite of you, young person. My name is Obud, and he bows very deeply. And then he kind of like pats the part of the pony he can reach. And this is Keg, who does not look up from the grass that they have decided they are eating.
I mean, that's way more important. I can't blame the pony for that. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't. Okay, I wasn't actually expected to have to tell stories. Well, I mean, I guess I can give you news of the mines. We'll start there since you're new people. You just have to tell stories over like a beer or something. But most recently,
Produces a flask. And randomly cups.
Out of nowhere, he just like pulls out like a thimble-sized cup. Just, well, in that case, and he kind of lets out this like low whistle, and you kind of see coming from like off the sides of this slightly clearer area, a couple more of these same very short little creatures with long feet and full bristling like mustaches and beards on most of them, and they're all kind of very wiry, like they have very muscular long arms, and a lot of them have like little pickaxes that are like slung across their backs and all of this sort of stuff, and they're like, what's going on? And then they see that there's like maybe a party happening, and all of a sudden 10 in the morning they also get their cups out, and they're just like, ooh.
I like this crew.
Anyone want to give me a nature check to see what these little dudes are?
Sure.
I got
11.
Dirty 20.
Oh, dirty 20.
There we go.
All right. As you are looking at and bothering these little creatures and giving them booze, probably unwisely, you remember from somewhere in the back of a story that you've heard that these are actually probably the Briganocks you've been looking for. They're just doing drinks, and he kind of starts up after taking like a very deep drink off this very small cup. And begins, well, I feel like all our stories are better told now that we're drinking. I'm just going to be for real. All my stories are boring as hell. I mostly just sell stuff out of the back of a pony, which I guess in and of itself is not the worst occupation. But... And he just like begins to ramble a little bit about his whole entire life in that way that like someone was not going to tell you a story and they're off on it. But about like 5 minutes later, he goes, oh, but that's not what I was telling you. I was telling you news of the day. You all stalwart adventurers, I guess. The mines are a little under new management, and that's why we're all... Well, fleeing doesn't sound dignified, but...
It's okay to run away.
Well,
It's scary.
It is scary, yes. Thank you. Especially when the war man, the guy with the helmet and the eyes and the other giant weird sword, he came through looking for... And he, like, leans forward and, like, looks at you all. He's looking for the tunnel.
I know.
Oh,
Wait.
I think we heard some rumors about the tunnel, but
Oh, let me tell you about the tunnel.
yeah.
And
Okay.
he's clearly a little drunk, but I still will need a persuasion check to see how much he has had to drink.
I would love to hear about the tunnels, both generally and specifically, as I'm inserting myself in order to be the one to make the persuasion check.
And can we be assisting by what we had already
Yeah.
kind of started?
Yep.
Great. All right.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Bard.
Oh, and you're
Okay, let's go.
assisting. Okay. So
Yeah. Mhm.
that will be a dirty 20.
Dirty 20, all right. He holds out his cup for more of whatever was in the flask and sort of shakes it in your general direction. Oh, thank you. Sits back on his chair again. Oh, yes, the tunnels. Well, it's a rumor, and he taps his nose. That one leads directly to the castle, and that's what's got the war man so upset. He brought his little friend, the lady with the skull hat, and they're just running around the mines, yelling and screaming and being confused because we have a lot of fucking tunnels. And he kind of like looks around again a little suspiciously and then like leans forward. I was in charge of the one that led to the castle, though.
Oh.
Yeah, me.
Really?
Yeah, me and Keg, guardians of the tunnel. Yep.
That's amazing. You've got such a noble. What's another word for job?
Occupation?
Occupation. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's such a noble occupation. That's doing such hard work.
Sort of puffs up a little bit. It is very hard work to guard a hidden tunnel.
So brave.
I imagine, yeah.
Finally, someone recognizes me as the hero that I am. I told you so, Keg, and he like throws something at the pony who just like flicks an ear.
Well, also, are you the one responsible for hiding it? Like, did you put out that effort?
No.
Or
No, it's kind of just always been hidden. It was magically hidden, but I didn't do it. I'm just a little guy.
I mean, don't sell yourself short. You
But I'm
guard the tunnel.
In a metaphorical sense, not talking about actual stature.
I-
Or nothing.
I mean,
good point. Yes, I am quite the hero. Thank you. Just kind of fluffs his like little mustache as he breathes out. Still very proud of himself for being the guardian of the tunnel. But now kind of like little pinker in the cheek than he was before he like closes one eye. Oh, you all are trying to find the tunnel to do what?
To take care of the hag. In a not so nice sense of the word take care of.
Oh, okay, like that's
Yeah.
yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Pretty accurate.
Well said. Yeah.
Was there someone before us that wanted to do that? What was the purpose of the tunnel to begin with?
he thinks a little bit, and he thinks some more. Well, I'm sure. I don't know the original purpose. Actually, I'm sure we were doing stuff in the castle, and then it just was kind of one of those things that stopped being used, and then it was like a secret, and then it became a legend. But the Brigandox kept the secret. And I expect you all to as well.
Lips are sealed.
No, yeah. The hag doesn't know, well, she knows about it, but that's why she has the two digging up our mines and harassing us and trying to find this tunnel.
Do you
They
be able
don't-
to show us where it is? Then we can keep those two from getting into it?
What?
But tears grace. We just want to help get rid of the hag.
Sort of like looks down and on either side and everyone like kind of around who's like sitting on the ground like listening to the story. Well, if you take care of the head, we could have our minds back. Then we wouldn't have to be out here parlaying with the core heads, which would save everyone a lot of headache. It's like, one sec. And he, like, jumps off, like, a sort of rope on the side of the hut on the horse, and slides down and goes and kind of has a sidebar with a couple of the other brigand ox, and they just are whispering to each other, like, super, super rapidly. And kind of...
This is going really well.
They keep glancing back at you.
Are we willing to, though, like, are we willing to say that we'll take care of those two? Like, what if they come back and they're like, no? Are we going to be like, well, we'll do this, then will you
Give
show
them
us?
another offer. I don't know. You said one of those people were wearing like a skull hat.
It sounded
Yeah,
kind of
that's-
hot, though.
All right.
And it
All
could just be a
right.
style choice,
Yeah.
honestly.
The lost people also warn us about them.
Yeah, they're the ones that, heard about those folks before.
But then this little fella described what they looked like, and well, that's
Meh.
They
If
don't
we can-
sound very nice.
Yeah, but also we handled that dragon. So,
we're invincible now.
well, I didn't say that, but
D&D, baby.
but I mean, I just mean that we could probably handle a couple
There's two of them.
these two
There's
people and
six
six
of
of
us.
us. Yeah.
All right.
I'm always down for a difficult fight.
And it'll be helpful to them. That, you know.
Yeah, sure. That too.
And as you're kind of turning around to look back at where this little sidebar was happening, you just kind of see Obud climbing back up that rope, just puffing away. And he makes it to the top. He's just, okay.
Are you okay? Do you,
You need a hand or
do you want some
anything, or
water?
Well, now I'm already, no, it's just
Sorry.
the bones aren't as,
Bony.
well, hopefully they're just as bony, but they're not. I think it's more the joints.
yeah, I imagined.
Well, the council, and like three people like from the ground just wave, have decided that we could possibly help you out a little bit.
Oh,
Oh, good.
All right.
Thank you. That's so kind.
Sounds like there's a butt coming.
I was gonna say, can we do something in return as thanks?
Oh,
Or-
well, that
damn
makes
it.
that makes it
Or-
easier. That makes it much easier. Yeah, I mean,
All right.
well, we are having a spot of trouble at the mines with these two individuals who have just taken a lot of prisoners, murdering people. They're terrible. But you guys seem so big and strong. You can handle it.
murdering your lot.
No, well, please don't murder us. Otherwise,
No, I mean they're murdering your lot.
well, there was some skirmishing at the start, yeah.
Mm.
Okay, we could do that. Yeah, we discussed it and said yes.
Nope.
It would be-
Excellent. All right, fearless heroes. And he sort of like looks at the pony. Goes, could one of you lead the pony?
Oh, I could certainly try. I like animals.
I am
All
also
right,
good
nice.
with animals.
Certainly.
You should let Veritas.
Let Veritas do it. I'll let Veritas do it. He knows
Certainly.
how to do it too.
The pony seems very like disinterested in coming with you, but go ahead and roll an animal handling check, and let's see how this goes.
That is a natural 20 or a 20 something.
Veritas.
So there's like a rope dragging on the ground, and you just kind of pick it up with one hand, and you're like scratching the pony's neck with another. And from where he's eating grass, he just kind of like slowly turns, and without like any pressure on the lead at all, just starts to follow you along this road. And you have Obud in the porch of his little pony hut. And he's like pointing you. He's like, "Well, no, that side of the tree. Go to the right. Go There we. Yep, that's the ticket.
All right. Yep.
Yep.
This is a very nice steed.
Oh, thank you. It's a pretty good little fella.
Hmm.
And he-
I will
Once-
produce a carrot from seemingly nowhere for the pony.
The pony like stand. If a horse could stand up straighter, it does. It kind of like puffs up his little mane and just like takes the carrot and like trots happily along beside you, and you kind of see that the trotting motion is giving Obud a little bit of like motion sickness as he's like sitting in the front. But yeah, he leads you to the foothills. Like you're coming out past the edge of the forest, and he has you pause there for a second. And he kind of like looks up at the sky and okay, so kind of stick to that side. And he's like pointing, and there's just like this very, very small, it almost looks like a game trail that sort of leads along some rocks. And this is like a very sure-footed pony who also seems to kind of know this way up, where it might be a shortcut to wherever Obud generally makes his home. So you're picking your way through the foothills, a little bit up a mountain, and you come to a little like flat plain on the outside that really is just like about wide enough for both the pony's feet and nothing else. So you're all able to sort of make your way through this narrow area and through this crack, and you find yourselves coming into the mountain, and it is oppressively hot as you come through this crack, and you sort of are up above this huge mining area. You're like high enough up where it is like you are in shadow, and you look down below and there's smelting fires and just the sound of like pickaxes, and you're seeing like other like beasts of burden carrying out ore and all this other sort of stuff. And Oba just lets out a low sort of like angry whistle. Ugh. Well, they're back at it.
What are they doing?
Yeah.
Well, the mines usually aren't really like this. We mine wish stones, and they're
Right.
digging deeper, looking for something else, and that's
You know what they're looking for?
That's a good question. Maybe you should ask them before you kill them.
Okay.
If you know,
Try.
if you
Yeah.
have time, it's just check it out. And he then looks at you guys like you're the ones being too loud and just goes shh, and starts like tiptoeing along this way. And you really don't need to be quiet or tiptoe because of the fact that it is so loud. But I will still take a group stealth check from everyone to make sure you don't drop any rocks on anybody.
Oh boy.
At disadvantage.
Oh yeah.
6.
Ooh.
19!
Okay. Everyone else?
14.
A 14, a 21.
21.
All right, so this is enough
Okay.
people passing. Every now and then you kind of hear Ori just scrape against the stone. Otherwise, y'all make it across this little ledge with very little trouble, and you begin to turn down a winding set of trails to go wherever this man and this pony are leading you, which really could be anywhere. But you sense that you're getting fairly like low in the general shape of this mountain. And so far you've avoided anyone. Well, let me see. Oh shit.
Every time Ori goes to scrape against like the side, Elio will just like press himself up against so the armor cushions.
Selfless. So you are making your way down these winding tunnels where there's branches coming off of them, and you hear like a whispered argument between like a deep, more masculine voice and like a higher but like very like boss bitch angry voice. And it's just, you said you would find everything by now, and you haven't even found the fucking tunnel. My ass is on the line, and I will make sure that neither of us make it out of here alive if I'm not going to.
It's very heated.
The girls are fighting.
Yeah, and then you can't really make out the like masculine response because it's just one of those like voices that's so deep it doesn't really carry. But she gets a little bit louder and says, "You have one job, Ice. The Hague gave us a week. And it's nearing the end, and you think she won't kill us both." And then there's like this very distinct pause as you all are trying to make your way through, and you hear like something hit metal. It sounds like kind of like flesh hitting metal, and she's like, "Will you shut the hell up? I hear something." And there's a few beats, and you do begin to hear the sound of footsteps coming for you.
I'm gonna prepare a fireball for as soon as they come into sight.
Damn.
That's the most wizard thing I've ever heard in my life.
Shield of faith myself.
I mean, yeah. You have a
Oh my
minute.
god.
I'm going to turn to the most important person and look at the pony and
Yeah.
tell it telepathically, get your rider out of here, or back at least.
And the pony pauses. It's doing the thing where it's like licking the salt off the wall, and it just like freezes with its tongue on the wall. And starts like trotting away as like quickly as they can, and you just see the whole house bouncing.
Fantastic. And I'll grab my lantern and a blade.
Elio will turn to Daz and say, "She does sound pretty hot."
Just an instant of focus from you two, I beg you.
And focus on something other than what she looks like, maybe too.
Hey,
What if? Oh, God.
Sometimes you just let them kill you.
yeah, just step on me,
Step
Mommy.
on me, mommy.
There is a time and a place.
This is the time and this is the place. I mean, we are in a cave. What better place to enjoy that? Anyway.
And with that discussion of whether or not this lady is hot, we will take a break here.
Is someone hot at home?
I'm very warm, generally. And now I was like, we don't need a map tonight. It's fine. But no, we will take a quick 5-minute break. Everyone cool down, get some water, that sort of thing. And we'll come back with a fireball.
Hell yeah!
All right.
I didn't ask how big the room was, GM.
No. So if you are joining us on Twitch, we will be back in just about 5 minutes. If you are with us on the YouTubes, this next half of the session will come up in a few days. But yeah, see you in 5 minutes to a few days.